Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Tuesday! It's Tuesday! Look, everybody survived Monday! Yay! Sorry, I'm fixing myself in the camera. It's Tuesday. I decided today to stick with the Soul Truth cards. So sorry. I know. So sorry about that. Anyways, yeah, I decided to stick with the Soul Truth Awareness card deck today. So daily questions that will transform your life. Daily questions that will transform your life. All right. So I already shuffled this morning because sometimes I feel like, right, it doesn't, we're not wasting time watching me shuffle. So I shuffled this morning, and then of course we have our morning mantras card, which I also shuffled this morning. So let's get rolling. All right. Do I surround myself with people who lift me up? Do I surround myself with people who lift me up? The people with whom we surround ourselves determine who we become. Does your tribe fill you up? Do they inspire you? Do they believe in you? Do they help you step into your greatest potential? Today's soul action. Make a desire list of the type of people with whom you wish to surround yourself and clarify if there is anyone in your life who no longer serves you. Can you love them from a distance? I'm going to try to keep this as positive as possible. Sorry, guys, I'm having some issues, some wardrobe issues this morning. But I'm going to try to keep this as positive as possible. So instead of focusing on the negative aspect of what we don't want in our lives, let's ask ourselves what we do want in our lives. And if we're not getting that from certain people, how can we, what can we do so that, as it says here, can you love from a distance? So we can love from a distance. Sometimes, that's where boundaries come in, right? Boundaries are huge, and boundaries are a very, very important thing in life. Now, growing up, never heard of the term boundaries. Like, what the hell are boundaries? Boundaries were those things, don't cross here, it's trespassing. Those were boundaries. But we never realized, or maybe we did, and just people like me didn't realize that we can also set boundaries. We can also create those boundaries for ourselves in our lives so that, we do maintain our peace. Whether you have a dinged up mental health or not, boundaries can be very important. But I am going to focus this next thought for a moment on people with a dinged up mental health. Sometimes when you have a dinged up mental health, you get to a point where you have no other choice than to set boundaries with people. And it may not be something you want to do, but it's something you have to do to maintain your own mental health. There may be a lot of tension, there may be a lot of disagreement, there may just be a lot of, one-sidedness, or, however anybody wants to look at it. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this as positive as possible. But when it comes to that, you may have to set your boundaries. So that's the disclaimer, okay? Doesn't mean you have to kick someone out of your life. I mean, if they need to be booted from your life, boot them. But if you're trying to maintain something, then set those boundaries, okay? Set those boundaries and try to make your intentions known and understood. Not in a mean way, but in a very clear and concise way that won't be, well, chances are if you're setting a boundary with someone, it might be misinterpreted. But just don't feel guilty about it. Just know that if you have a dinged up mental health, this is something you need to do for yourself. And if you don't have a dinged up mental health, it still may be something you need to do. But the reason I zeroed in on the people with a dinged up mental health when it comes to setting boundaries is because there's a lot of guilt that comes with that. There's a lot of, did I do the right thing? Was I being mean? Everything that might be said to you that, doesn't build you up can really tear you down because it gets into our head and it just cycles in there over and over and over and over and over again. It's like a really negative recycling issue. And so sometimes this is why we need to set those boundaries, because it moves into a direction that we're either not comfortable with or we're tired of dealing with. So that being said, let's get back to this card. Do I surround myself with people who lift me up? I think it's very important to surround ourselves with people who lift us up. There's enough negativity in this world. We don't need to bring it into our own little circles, right? What we need are people in our lives who are going to make us feel good about ourselves, who are going to be honest with us when we need, the truth told to our face. I mean, a lot of stuff that happens, I really kind of run it past older sibling. It's like, did I overreact? Or did I do this? And the reason I do that is a lot of people will sit there and watch this and go, oh, like she's going to tell you the truth. She will. This is a woman who helps me bottom line things. This is a woman who is not afraid to put me back in my place. Usually. Usually not afraid to put me back in my place. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm having some serious issues here. When I was putting my dress on, it hit my hair. So it's just kind of like, oh, I can feel everything falling out. But anyways, I know, right? Do you not know how to put on clothes, Shelly Marie? But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that when I run things by her, she's not a yes person. She is going to tell me exactly what she thinks. And, like yesterday we had a conversation about something that recently happened. They said, well, do you think I overreacted? And it's like, well, I understand why you did what you did, but I wouldn't make it permanent. It's like, no, I don't plan on making it permanent, just for the time being, which, on their end may make it permanent. But it was for me to maintain something, to maintain whatever was left of something that I think is still there. So sometimes we just have to protect ourselves. We have to stand up for ourselves, and we have to take care of our own mental health and our own mental personal well-being, because like I said, it was something that stuck in my head for days, and I'm all like, oh my God, what did I do? And then you start second guessing yourself, and you start thinking you're a bad person. You start asking everyone around you, am I really like this? And when they tell you no, it's not enough. When they sit there and go, because it's like, well, are they just saying that? And I'll tell people, are you just saying that, or are you being honest with me? And it's like, no, I'm telling you because I'm honest. But the one thing I can honestly say with older sibling is, and I'm only singling her out because we're roommates. So, I see her every day. So she knows me probably better than anybody. So I really kind of need to ask her those things. But the first question asks, the people with whom we surround ourselves determine who we become. Does your tribe fill you up? Does your tribe fill you up? Do they bring joy to your life? Are they going to be honest with you? If you have a legitimate question, hey, is this something that I need to do? Is this something I not need to do? Are they going to be the people who tell you yes or no? I think it's very important to be honest with our people, with our tribe. You don't want a bunch of yes men. We've seen to bring it out to a broader audience, we've seen this, right, with celebrities that say, oh yeah, I got all the yes people. They had all the yes people around them, and it did not end well. Pick one. And or it's one extreme or the other, right? Now, I don't mean to single out celebrities, because not everybody's like that, but there are a select few who have so many yes people around them that it's kind of like, I think they've lost track of who they are, because they're just, maybe that's how they fill their void. Maybe there was some pain inside, of them from their life, from something that may have happened, or just a particular upbringing or whatever, that needs them to have these people that just, will yes people them, not because they want to be told yes, but because, it feels good to have somebody on your side, right? But that can also be dangerous. And I only say celebrities because, we've seen it, but this happens in real life too. People will be surrounded by people who are so, kind of stuck up somebody's butt that it's like, well, I don't want them to be mad at me, so I'm just going to agree with everything. And that in a way is people pleasing. What you want and what you need in your tribe, and I speak from my own perspective, what you need and what you want are your own thing. Okay. So for me, I need people who are going to be honest with me. Not in a mean-spirited way, okay? But, if I'm talking to somebody and I'm giving something, like I'm having a conversation and talking about something, I want people to know that, it's like, no, this is, and sometimes here's the problem with text messaging or messaging, period. Tones can be taken out of context. You could say something that you totally don't mean to sound however you want it to sound, snarky or whatever. And it may come out that way because if the person's already on edge on the other side or already angry on the other side, they're not going to read it. Like you could say, well, have a great day. And maybe you don't put a question, or no, maybe you don't put an exclamation. You just leave it, have a great day. And they may say, oh, so, now you're just ignoring. It's like, okay, it just goes into different directions. And you just have to learn how to walk away. You have to learn how to walk away. because that preserves your sanity, and those are the boundaries that you need to set. But when we talk about our tribe, most of the time these are people who you're going to vibe with. These are people that you're going to, just kind of really connect with on a deep level. I have a lot of friends in a lot of different groups, and well, not a lot of different groups, but a select few groups, and I love it because these are people that I trust. That if I ask them, hey, am I being out of line? They will tell me. They're not going to offer it up without me asking, but they're going to tell me, no, you know what, I get it. Because I give the whole situation and I tell both sides. And that's what we need. But moving in, I know I said I wanted to keep this positive, but it's just, it keeps going back to this one situation. And I don't want to talk about that anymore. So does your tribe fill you up? Do they make you feel good about yourself? Do they, bring you joy? Do they check in on you? And I get it. Sometimes the checking in on you part can be a little sketchy because sometimes people get busy. And I think that we forget that other people have lives, and so it's like when we're, I'm the kind of person that tries to be there for everybody. And there are a lot of us out there that try to be there for everybody, that just sometimes we spread ourselves so thin. It's like, ah. But then when we reach out, it's like, whoa, where did everybody go? And so I'm not saying that that's, bad. That's not bad. People have lives. People don't always remember what might be bothering you. People aren't always going to remember you, period. Okay? Sometimes life gets so busy, and things are done in the last minute that, if you slip someone's mind, it might happen from time to time. So try not to get a little upended. If it bothers you that much, talk to them about it and say, hey, you know what? It really kind of hurt my feelings, but, maybe next time, or hey, did I do something to cause this? You want to have a tribe that you can be honest with, but you also want a tribe that's going to lift you up and raise you up, that you can also turn around and lift and raise them. That's the whole point of a tribe. It's to grow together. It's to, rise together. It's to be there for one another. It's to, this is why the bigger your tribe, the better your chances of having someone to be there when you do need to talk to someone. And, I've always found in my experience, not just by my perspective, but in my experience, I have found that when I can't reach anybody, it's something I have to do myself. It's not something that needs an answer from somebody else. It's not something that I need to run by somebody else. It's being put on my plate to say, hey, you know what? You've peeled all these onion layers. Now it's time for you to understand that you have to figure out how to move forward. So the next question was, do they inspire you? Does your tribe inspire you? Mine does. Mine really, really does. They inspire me to be, to really kind of push my creativity. They inspire me to be, to stay and try to be a better person. I don't think I'm a bad person. We all have our flaws, right? But I don't think I'm a bad person. I don't think I really know anybody that's a bad person, because if I did, I've set boundaries long time ago. There's only two people that really kind of come to mind, and that was a couple years ago where I had to set a huge boundary within my own family. So it's kind of like, but they've never really been a part of my tribe. My tribe are the people that I really kind of see as being close, that when, even if a year passes, we can get together and we're just like, no time is lost. And these people inspire me, sometimes through text messages, sometimes through having coffee with them, sometimes through having lunch or whatever with them. And, I don't go into friendships looking for someone to inspire me. I don't, try to strengthen family relationships looking for someone to inspire me. I just try to be the person to them that I would like them to be to me. And I think when you have that, and when you have that mindset around your entire tribe, everyone's there for each other. It is a circle, right? What is it that they say when it comes to children? It takes a village, and it really does. That's even in friendships. Okay, I don't have kids, but it's taken a village to get me where I'm at today. It's taken a village to see me through the last couple of years and to teach me how to set boundaries, and to teach me that, my mental health is very important, and to keep that balance, I've got to do what I've got to do to maintain it without feeling guilty about it. You know, that's what we have to do sometimes. And your tribe will understand that. Your tribe will say, hey, you know what? Okay, but do you just want me to sit with you? You know, sometimes when people call me and they ask me for advice, you know, sometimes you might overstep when they ask for advice. So I'll just tell them, do you want me to tell you what you want to hear? Or do you want me to tell you what I think? You know, and sometimes they're the same thing. Sometimes they might be the same thing. You know, like maybe what I'm saying is something that they actually needed to hear, or that they wanted to hear. They just didn't realize it. But I'll always ask them, do you want me to be honest, or do you want me to tell you what you want to hear? You know, and I give them that choice, because sometimes I think people just want to be relatable. I think sometimes people just want to have someone sit with them. And I say that too, or do you just want me to sit and listen? You know, because you have three options. All right. Do you want me to tell you what you want to hear? Do you want me to tell you, you know, what I really think? Or do you want me to just sit here and be quiet and let you vent? Sometimes that's the biggest part, right? Do they believe in you? That's, it's not coming out. That's a big one. Do they believe in you? I think it's very important for your tribe to believe in you. You know, as an example, no matter how much time passes, my cousins still from time to time, are you writing? Are you writing? Are you writing? Mainly my cousin Trez. She was on yesterday, but she'll be like, oh, not one family gathering goes by without her at least bringing up once. I remember when you used to tell us about all your stories. And I guess I never really thought about that before until right now, when it asked, do they believe in you? And it's really kind of hitting me sideways now, you know, or even my dad. Why aren't you writing your stories? Why aren't you putting them out there? And, you know, these are people who I've known throughout my life that don't take shit from anybody. Okay. They're two of the kindest people I know in the world, but they also don't take shit from anybody. They will stand up for you no matter what. And so to have them believe in me that much is huge. And I'm not saying the other people in my life don't. Baby sibling does, older sibling does. But these two, you know, just knowing their personalities, it's, you know, especially my dad, because my dad is a good writer. My dad doesn't write, but I know he's a good writer because I've read a few of his things. So for him to think that, you know, that I have that in me, it speaks volumes. And like I said, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of working that out now, going, whoa, I never really put that together. I should have. But, you know, sometimes when you have your family or your friends and they're telling you all this stuff, you tend to not believe them, because it's like, well, you're just saying that because, you know, you like me. You're just saying that because you're my family. You know, you're just saying that because we're friends. But I see now that these are people like me. And it's kind of where I probably learned it. I will not give a compliment that I don't mean. When I give you a compliment, I absolutely 100% mean it. Okay, so do they help you step into your greatest potential? I think people try. Okay, I know I'm trying to be as relatable as I can with this one, because this is kind of one of those where you have to give examples. You know, you have to ask people, are your people serving you? Is your tribe serving you? Okay, I know I wanted to keep it more in the positive realm, but if you peek into the negative side of this, are people filling you up? Are they inspiring you? Do they believe in you? Do they help you step into your greatest potential? Or we can flip to the negative side and say, or do they just tear you down? Do they just sit there and go, no. I mean, it's one thing if it's not your thing. It's another thing if they just, you know, are just not. Okay, so as a writer, if somebody doesn't like your stuff, that's going to happen. Not everybody's going to jive with whatever it is you're writing, but if you love it, go with it. Okay, but what I'm talking about is when somebody comes in and says, why are you even bothering? Why are you bothering? There's like 10 bazillion people in that industry. Why would you even try? You're not going to make it. You know, be real. Stick your face back in reality. You know, why bother? Why not? It's as simple as that. Why not? I've had people say these things to me. Well, why are you trying that? It's like, you got a good job here. Why would you try that? And yet when you write these, like in my old job, when I'd write these glorious emails that everybody, oh my God, I loved your email. It was great. It was so creative. Or, you know, just different things that you would do. And it's just kind of like, But, you know, at the same time, it's like, well, no, you're secure here. So clearly not. But that's what we have to ask ourselves. Do these people help us step into our greatest potential? Is your tribe helping you step into your greatest potential? Are they telling you, hey, that's great? You know, I mean, if you know, and always be open to suggestions, okay? Constructive criticism is not a bad thing. You know, especially when it's coming from somebody who might be in an industry, right? Maybe you're trying to break into something and someone's saying, well, you might want to try this or you might want to do that. That's why when I go to Comic-Con, I haven't been able to in the last couple of years, but when I go to Comic-Con, if it doesn't conflict with something bigger that I want to do, I always try to get to at least one writing panel. And I did that this year. And the one thing I loved is the example that the moderator gave. She's an author. Let me see. I'm trying to remember her name. I can't remember her name. I'm looking over because she gave away some swag, and it's kind of like, oh, I can't remember. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Nope, wrong thing. Never mind. I don't know where it is. I can't find it, but oh no, there it is. Brandy June. That's her name, Brandy June. And you could hear all my stuff. And this was everything, right? And there was one other thing that she gave away too. But we had a little booklet. We had a little worksheet. And her whole thing was, her whole genre is taking fairy tales and retelling them in a different way. You know, maybe from the perspective of the villain, maybe from the perspective of maybe the least known character in the book going, hey, I'm over here, look at me, right? You know, like that one, sometimes we watch those movies and you have that one pivotal character that comes in and disappears. One of the things sibling and I still laugh about is she had this favorite soap opera when she was younger, and she's all, oh yeah, I had this crush on this one guy, and you know, he was so great, and then one day he went up the stairs and never came back. You know? So it's kind of telling the story from that side, right? Like, well, you know, they sent me up the stairs and I'm still here, you know, whatever it is. But what was interesting is 3 different people in this. I mean, nobody, well, actually, I picked Cinderella. I don't know why, because Sleeping Beauty is my favorite. But, you know, I mean, I wanted to write from the point of the villain, right? So, you know, just to give a different perspective. Well, you know, but just kind of show how mean she actually was, right? But a lot of people have already done the Sleeping Beauty side and given her a kind of a basis for why she was the way she was. But other people chose that. Several people chose The Little Mermaid. Several people chose Little Red Riding Hood. But what was interesting is some people chose to tell it from the protagonist, you know, the person that you're cheering for, from their point of view. But like one girl picked The Little Mermaid from Ariel's perspective. One girl picked The Little Mermaid from Ursula's perspective. You know, one person picked The Little Mermaid from Sebastian the crab's perspective. So what I liked though, and this is the point I'm trying to drive home with, does your tribe help you step into your potential? She liked every single idea. She said, that's good. Now build on it. You know, she didn't sit there and go, oh no, why would you do that? I mean, Sebastian the Crab, I mean, he's a background person in this movie. I mean, he's like the co-star. He's not the star, right? The star is Ursula and Ariel. Why pick the crab? Well, because the crab probably has a lot. And it's not just telling it from the perspective that you see from the Disney movies either, right? It's saying, hey, here's this crab. He works for the king. He's doing all this stuff. Maybe he feels like a civil servant in some way where he's just overlooked and underpaid and not paid attention to. Or maybe he's living his best life as a crab because no one's eating him. Who knows? But the point is that she built up every idea. You know, she built up the idea, like, you know, the other person that chose Cinderella, you know, why is Cinderella so bitchy? I mean, you know, who knows, right? But she didn't poo-poo that. She said, that's good. She says, build it from there. You know, maybe there's a reason, blah, 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 whatever it was, you know, grieving and all this stuff. So when we ask ourselves, does our tribe help us, you know, step into our greatest potential? I wrote a story a long time ago that I absolutely loved. My dad didn't like it. But he says, it's not that it's bad. It's just not the kind of story I like to read. You know, but in my mind, my unhealed, traumatized mind from the way back days said, oh, it's terrible. And I never did anything with it. And I don't even know what happened to it. I usually save all my stories, but I don't know. It's either in storage or in the ether. somewhere. But the point is that, I didn't hear what he was saying. He just says, it's not bad, it's just not my kind of story. And instead, I took it and I heard it in a different way. But now that I'm re-listening to it, in my head, the exact words, I'm saying, oh, what he's saying is, it's not bad. Someone else might like it. It's just not my thing. And that's what we kind of have to go with. These are still people that say, you need to do this because this is your passion. Or, hey, I support your endeavors. I never thought my jewelry making was that great, but I have one person that loves everything, well, not everything, but almost everything that I create. And they're probably my best buyer for the most part, but, I don't know what happened with that, and I'm being honest. But this is somebody who inspired me and said, wow, that's amazing. In fact, one piece I created that I absolutely hated. I love this. This is so amazing. Because I thought, I got to go through with this. I got to just finish it. And they loved it. And I thought, wow, okay, I didn't like it, but somebody else did. So when you have that spidey instinct, when you feel that, even yourself, the one person who needs to be your biggest champion in your tribe is you. That doesn't mean let your ego go crazy. That doesn't mean let your, don't become condescending or self-centered or narcissistic. Okay, well, I think narcissistic is actually a behavioral disorder, but narcissism. But I mean, don't let your ego go, right? But just say thank you. Just keep in mind what you are capable of. You have to be your biggest champion. You have to be the one who believes in yourself, and having the right tribe with you, having the right people surrounding you, the right circles, the right friend groups. That is how you do it. These are people that you build up and people that build you up, that make you feel good about waking up every morning. And if you don't wake up feeling good on a certain morning, these are people who are going to, notice there's a change in maybe your posting habits, or maybe your text messaging. I was text messaging baby sibling and she replied to me in a certain way, and I said, are you okay? Are you having a rough day? And she's like, how do you know? And I'm all, because your texting style changed. I noticed when, you text a certain way, you're either rushed or you're having a really difficult day. And she's like, God. And and it's just things that we notice. It's things that we notice and that people notice in us. And that's what makes a good tribe. That's what makes, do you surround yourself with the people who lift you up? The people that make you feel good about yourselves, the people that sit there and, yesterday I got several compliments and I wasn't expecting them. Not one bit. But it was like, wow, thank you. That it touched me. It really kind of lifted me for the whole day. And that was my family. But, but the point that I'm trying to make is, whether it's a family member, your significant other, or, your friend, whatever tribe it is, your family. When I say your significant other, maybe your kids, and are you building them up? Are they building you up? And, with kids, it can be a little difficult, right? There could be that balance, because kids can get a little snarky sometimes because they don't know how to express their feelings yet. So it might come out completely in a way that you're just like, whoa, easy there, cowboy or cowgirl. It's like, back it up a second. But try to see it from their perspective. Older sibling loves to bottom line things. I hate it, but she's not wrong. Okay, I hate it, but she's not wrong. But older sibling does like to bottom line things. And it helps. Because it's like when something's angry or something's hurting, ask them, are you okay? What's going on with you? And you kind of have to pick the right situation, right? Because sometimes you can ask someone, are you okay? And they might just take it like, oh, what are you trying to say? So, sometimes it's better to just leave it alone. But if you're in that moment and somebody's lashing out at you for absolutely no reason, what's going on? Let's get to the bottom of this to figure out where this is coming from. And don't say it in a mean way. Just be, let's sit down, let's have a chat, let's try to figure this out together, okay? Because that also opens them up. That is what a tribe does for one another. Whether it's on text message, whether it's in your groups that you belong to, whether it's in a little app where you communicate with somebody. This is what we do to build each other up. And, and like I said, you always know who your people are, right? You could not speak for a couple of days or a couple of weeks, and then you just come right back and boom, you're right back in the thick of it. Just doing great and chit-chatting away. So ask yourself who you're surrounding yourself with and make sure it's good people. And like I said, if there's a difficult situation, there may be something completely separate that might be driving something, or driving the position of somebody in, that you might be butting heads with. And if you have to set your boundary, set your boundary. But just treat it with kid gloves. Don't just sit there and go, F off. Okay? Or I effing hate you. Okay, I know. Today, apparently, I'm not very sweary, because normally it doesn't bother me to just say fuck off. But, there it was. But I mean, seriously, just, there may be something deeper, and there may be something else going on in there that's just hurting, and it's lashing out in different directions. So, if that is the case, try not to take it personally. I know sometimes it's hard, especially if you don't know what's going on, but just try to think about it, okay? And just, like I said, if you have to, set your boundaries. But again, surround yourself with people who build you up. Not tear you down. Surround yourself with people who make you feel good about yourself, not bad. Surround yourself with people who, just want the best for you, who want you to achieve your highest potential, not the people who sit there and try to sit you back into reality. Because it's like, you know what? We never know. I mean, if every person in every walk of life listened to somebody else, well, you should have been this instead of this, and then they go off and have this great career in this X position, the world may have missed that, because they may have listened to somebody who either was jealous because they were doing something, or just was trying to keep them in reality. All right, forget what other people's reality is. What is your reality? And when you find the right people, they will build you up. They will sit there and support you. They will tell you, hey, I think that's great. You got to do what you got to do. Pursue this. All right. So I hope everybody, oh, wait, no, I almost forgot the mantra card. 2 of them popped out, but I love the fact that this one had a dragon. So I picked this one, a dragon, and I want to say that's a cat just by the tail. But anyways, I'm braver than I think. Oh, this is a good one. I'm braver than I think. I don't have to suddenly slay every dragon in town, but I can definitely start the day off by looking one in the eye and giving it a slow motion nod like, I see you. So I didn't realize the dragon was the enemy in this one. But, it has to be a cat, because the cat it'll look at it and go, yeah, it'll give it the middle finger. Like, yeah, you don't scare me. So anyways, again, I'm braver than I think. I don't have to suddenly slay every dragon in town, but I can definitely start the day off by looking one in the eye and giving it a slow nod, right? Like that. So what that card is just saying is, be courageous. Believe in yourself. Trust yourself. When your friends give you compliments, when you give your friend a compliment, or you give your family member a compliment, does it drive you nuts when they go, no? Probably, right? Now imagine that you do that to them, because the chances are you've probably done that to them. And then remember that moment. Go, oh, wait, just say thank you. Say thank you and take it to heart. Just, again, like I said, put yourself in their situation. You give them a compliment and they're all, no, I don't know about that. And they may give you that compliment 5 or 10 days later when you're a whole different conversation. You're like, remember how it made you feel a couple days earlier when they did it to you, and go, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate that. Because then when you start taking compliments, you can help them learn how to take one. All right. So again, have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's self-care Wednesday. I got a little bit something different planned for tomorrow. Instead of just pulling cards and saying, hey, do this. So have a great day. I'll be back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. All lives are public under Shelley Marie Lucas. Anybody can watch. I also have a Facebook page called the Aloha Perspective, if you'd like to go over there and follow it. So the more followers I get, the more I can do the lives over there. I also post these to YouTube under the Aloha Perspective, TikTok under the Aloha Perspective, and to Twitter. And I've been so busy talking, I didn't even see. Thank you to Sibling, my friend Daisy, and my friend Tanya for all showing up today for the perspective. So have a wonderful day, everybody. Remember, love your tribe, and your tribe will love you back. Have a great day.